Hi, you've talked to me about goal setting and what motivates you. Right? Some of the goals that students have told me are volleyball, football, try to learn push up, how to learn to drive, ballet. You might want to get better at stacking cups. Some people push ups, cartwheels, exercises, soccer, football. You want to get better, you're setting goals for yourself. Some of the things that motivated you to want to do these things: there was an adult, a parent that does soccer with you. There was a sister that might be really good at jump roping, so you want to be jump roping with her. You want to just be an expert swimmer yourself, or you just want to learn how to get stronger with a push up. So those were things that motivated you. For Mr. Boccia, I'm motivated to get my knee back after my surgery, and I want to be able to demonstrate the exercises for you as soon as I can. So that's my motivation right now. So you set these goals, great. When do you think you'll get to these goals? When will you reach your goal? How do you want to get there? So some things you have to consider when you get to these goals. They're not just going to happen right away. You're not just going to snap your fingers and it's going to happen. You have to think about planning. How will you get there? Okay? Where are you going to practice the activities? Right? You're going to practice them at home? Do you have to go somewhere to do it? So where will you practice? What equipment do you need to do it? What materials do you have to have in order to practice to get better at the goal you're setting? You might not need any, right? To learn a push-up, we don't need any practicing. If you want to practice football, well, it depends on what you might want to do. You need to maybe get the football, or you could also practice different things to get better, like running or jumping. So things like that might not need equipment either. To drive a car, you may need to either get books to study on how to drive. You might want to look at videos, and eventually you'll have to definitely get in a car and try to drive it. And then last, how often are you going to practice? Are you going to just do it once a week, every day, once a month? That all depends on how quickly you get to your goal. So all that has to take it into consideration when you want to do those things. All right, for example, I wanted my knee surgery. All right, I have knee surgery. My goal? How long until I'm able to bend my knee so I'm doing a leg squat? Well, I'm going to set a goal of 4 weeks. I think I'm going to try to be able to do a leg squat in 4 weeks after my surgery. All right, well, where will I practice? Well, I'm going to have to go to the physical therapy office to learn how to get new exercises to strengthen my leg, help me bend it. I'm going to practice at home. All right, so I can practice at the physical therapy and I can practice at home. Right now, I'm not going to go to the gyms, to be honest, because of COVID. Otherwise, I could also maybe go to a gym to practice some of the exercises if I needed to. But what equipment am I going to need? Well, I don't think I'm going to need weights because I'm just recovering from surgery, but I might want to get those exercise bands that I've shown you in some of the videos, and maybe a light ankle weight that I can put around my leg in order to do some of the exercises. So right now, everything is going to be light, or I might not do anything with equipment and just do exercises with just my leg. Now, how often am I going to practice? Well, I think I'm going to go to the physical therapy office at least 2 times a week. And then from there, I want to hear what the doctor has to say and what the people at the physical therapy say on how often I should do exercises at home. So with all that in consideration, I think I'm going to try to say 4 weeks before I can do my leg squat. Another thing I love to do is read. I love magazines. All right, well, I just got a new magazine. It's on my iPad. And when am I going to finish the magazine? Okay, when will I start the magazine to end the magazine? Well, I'm going to say I'm going to finish reading this magazine in 1 week. All right, so where am I going to do this? I really could do it anywhere, but I'm going to say I'm going to do it at home. And I have the magazine. Excuse me, I had itch in my back. I have the magazine. It's in my iPad. My iPad's at home. how often do I want to read? I would love to read that magazine every night before I go to bed. So I plan on reading every night before I go to bed, and I probably will finish that magazine in 1 week. All right, so now some of your goals. You guys wanted to drive a car, some people. All right, so let's set a timeline. All right, when do you think you'll be able to drive the car? Well, you can't get your license in New York until you're 16. So legally, you won't be able to drive till you're 16. So probably a couple years for you guys. But what can you do, or how else can you practice? Well, you might be able to take courses as you get older. There could be some driving courses you could take. What equipment will you need? I guess depending on the courses that you take, and then eventually you'll have to be able to get into a car to practice. And then how often will you practice once you're 16 and in the car? Well, that's all going to depend on a car, how often you'll be able to get a car, and how you feel behind it. So that's a long goal, right? You guys are maybe 10, 6, 7, okay? 8, 9, 10. So that's a goal that's way far away, which is good. You need goals that are farther away. Some of you want to learn how to do the push-ups, cartwheels, stacking cups. That's a little bit different. That you can learn a little quicker. All right, so some of you might want to say, I'm going to learn we'll say 10 push-ups in 2 weeks. Or cartwheel. I'm going to learn that cartwheel. I'm going to do really good cartwheel in 1 week. I'm going to learn. Well, where are you going to practice these exercises? Can you practice at home? Where at home? What equipment will you need to practice any of the exercises you want to do? And then, how often are you going to practice this? Taking that all into consideration, you can get a better idea of when you're going to reach your goal. Okay? Lastly, people want to learn volleyball, soccer, football, ballet, dance. That might take a little longer. Again, we have to think of a timeline. How will you learn the sport? Okay? Where are you going to practice? You probably have to practice outside unless you're going inside to a gymnasium. Right now, probably going inside isn't as, you're not going to be able to do that as often. So hopefully you get to go outside and practice some of these sports. What equipment will you need to play these sports? All right, so you're going to play the sports. What equipment? Another way that you might need to learn the sport is by watching it on TV. When you watch it on TV, you'll learn the rules, and that might help you play better. You can watch the plays on the TV, and you can see what some of the athletes are doing, and you might say, I'm going to try that when I go outside. And then you have to think about how often you're going to practice your sport. Or you can just practice once a week, once a month, 2, 3, 4 times a week, right? Depending on your body. But the more you practice, the better you get. So that's what I want to talk about this week on goal setting timelines. We're going to do more with this in the future. I just wanted to introduce it. All right. Nice talking to you, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.